the pulse raiser, there'll be loads of different cones in an allocated area, and at a high intensity, so 80 to 90% of their maximum heart rate, they have to flip the cones so that they are the right way. So every cone will be the wrong way, and they have to flip it so that every cone will be the right way. This gets their heart rate elevated and ready for exercise because it circulates the oxygenated blood throughout the body, but also so that they don't get bored. I have changed the style that the warm-up is, so it's sort of like a game rather than a serious warm-up. However, they'll still be doing dynamic stretches in order for the muscles to be warm and pliable so that they don't cause an injury during the session. So the dynamic stretches, I'd like my client to do 7 reps of each leg exercise on each leg and 5 reps of each arm exercise on each arm. So the leg stretches I'd like my client to do are walking lunges, squats, side steps, but then holding the stretch in so they feel the stretch down inside of the leg. Next, I'd like them to do walking hamstring stretches. So when they raise their foot slightly and then try and touch their hands to the floor by raising them past their foot. Then with the arm stretches, I'd like them to walk on their tiptoes, but also stretch their arms above their head. And then next, I'd like them to put their arm behind their head and then pull on their elbow. This will create a stretch down their arm and their shoulder. And then next, I'd like them to bring their arm across their chest and then hold that stretch for their arm as well. These stretches will prepare my client for the exercises they're about to do in each session, as it reduces the stiffness of the muscles and tendons, so then reduces the injury risk that the client might experience if these muscles weren't warm or stretched. For the cool down for my client, I'd like them to do skipping for 2 minutes at an RPE of about 4. This will obviously help get rid of the lactic acid from Sunday's session by still keeping the muscles contracting, so therefore getting more oxygenated blood to the working muscles to reduce recovery time and reduce EPOC. But also for swimming, it helps as you're still moving your arms when you're skipping. So this helps cool down the muscles in the arms to remove the waste product of carbon dioxide. Skipping also causes vascular shunt, so therefore redirecting blood to all areas of the body where oxygen is needed to break down that lactic acid or to get rid of the carbon dioxide. Also, I'd like my client to do static stretches to make sure the muscles are properly cooled down and so that they don't stiffen up or seize up, so that they are ready to use for the next exercise that my client does. I would like them to do 5 reps of each exercise. So the static stretches are, firstly, lying on their back with their legs out straight, but then lifting one knee up and pulling it across to the other side of their body. This should create a stretch in the hamstring. Then I'd like them to do lunges and quadricep stretches where they lift their leg up and cause flexion at the knee and pull on their leg to create that stretch in their quadricep. For the arm stretches, I'd like them to do the one against the wall where they put their palm against the wall and lean slightly forward. Also, to stretch their shoulders, I'd like them to reach up by interlocking their fingers and holding that stretch for 8 to 10 seconds. These stretches will help my client after the exercises that he's just done, as these stretches stretch the areas of the body that the client has just been working. So the arm stretches, so obviously with the swimming action, they'll be using their arms. And then with the resistance training, they'll also be using their arms for the push-ups, but also they'll be using their legs for the squats. And with rowing, it incorporates the arms and the legs. So all of these exercises will aid my client by reducing the injury risk for the next time he does exercise, and just also generally stretching the muscles and ligaments and making them more pliable. On Monday, I'd like this to be a recovery session to reduce the effects of DOMS that my client might have experienced by doing the anaerobic session on Sunday, because the build-up of lactic acid might cause pain. So I'd like him to go for a 15-minute walk at a pace of an RP of 4. This should get oxygen to the muscles and therefore break down any lactic acid that is present, reducing the pain that the client might feel. For Tuesday's session, I'd like my client to do front crawl. This is because this will incorporate all areas of his body. Also, the increase in duration will help improve his VO2 max, which will consequently cause cardiac hypertrophy, like I said before, and therefore decrease his resting heart rate and blood pressure. Also, by working all areas of his body, this allows the increase in muscle fibre thickness, which will build muscle, and this is one of his targets he wants to achieve. So the duration that he'll be swimming at will be 20 minutes, and he'll be working at 60 to 70% of his maximum heart rate. For Thursday's session, the client is still doing the same exercises. However, instead of increasing the duration of the exercise, so how many reps they do, I've increased the weight that will either be strapped around him or that he will hold. I've only increased the weights by 10% to follow progressive overload. However, the extra weight ensures that his muscular strength increases further. So with the combination of cardio training, he will replace fat with muscle. So the reps that he'll still be doing is 10 reps of 3 sets of each exercise. For Saturday's session, I've taken out the flexibility session and replaced it with the fitness testing, because I want to see how much my client has improved and if they've reached their target. I feel that I don't need to do another flexibility session, as during the warm-up and cool-down, I feel that there is an adequate amount of stretching to prepare the client's muscles for the exercises they're about to complete during the sessions. So for Sunday's session, I have reduced the recovery time by 10 seconds and increased the working time by 10 seconds. So overall, the duration of the session won't change, but my client will be working for longer periods of time with a shorter recovery time. I've done this because this allows his body to adapt to a reduced amount of recovery time, which aids muscular endurance, as this is the ability for the muscles to contract repeatedly for long periods of time. So a shorter recovery time allows the muscles to adapt so that they can work for longer. And then this in turn increases muscular strength, as if there is more muscle contractions, then the muscle fibers will get thicker. Therefore, my client will be able to reach one of his targets of building muscle.